Hello and welcome to the Menopause Mindshift Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Lisa R. Triggs, best-selling author, menopause queen, and all that stuff. As I've said before, this is a very relaxed environment. I do this podcast thus far from my home office, and I think of it as I'm just having a conversation with you all about what it was like for me, the things I learned along the way, with the hope that it will help somebody else or they might relate to what I went through. So what I want to talk today is about self-awareness. What does that mean? What does that mean? How do you do it? What's involved in it? What is the obsession with self-awareness right now? Well, from my own experience, self-awareness helped me get through a very difficult time. How does self-awareness tie into self-love? Well, I believe that everything in our lives tie into self-love. And that's something I've learned along the way. And I didn't know it. I didn't realize it until when I went through my own journey, until even actually more recently. I considered what I went through a transformational journey, right? A mindset shift. But the more I am talking about it, the more I am living it, I realize that self-love is the root. Self-love is really the root. How we feel about ourselves affects every area of your life, including your menopause journey. Because if you're not feeling great about yourself, that's going to put your body in more stress. And that more stress is going to make your symptoms worse, or is going to cause more symptoms. So that part of self-love is self-awareness. And you'll hear me talk about making a conscious decision every day, making a conscious decision how I want my day to be, how I want my life to be. How am I going to act, speak, and do? Right? How am I going to behave? So what does that mean? Well, it means choosing your words before you speak. It means choosing your thoughts before you act. Because whether we realize it or not, you do have control over your thoughts, and people don't realize that. I talk about that, a negative spiral. I was stuck in a negative spiral for 5 years. So my whole life was just spinning all that negativity around me. But once I came out of that, once I started loving myself and everybody else around me, it was evident that it was a choice. Right? It's a choice I made and make every day. Sometimes, often throughout the day, because I didn't think it was related at the time, but I had rage and occasionally still do. I just thought I was angry about everything that was going on, the situation I was in, the pressure I was under. Why did God, source, universe deal me this life? Why was I dealt these cards? I suffered some trauma when growing up, and then trauma in our family. Trauma. So I said, can't I just have a break? Can't I just be happy for a while and enjoy my life, my family, my being? That was my train of thought, right? So then I had to kind of wake up through everything I was reading and everything I was doing that, it clicked. It clicked that I could choose how I wanted my day to go. I can choose my mood when I get up in the morning. You can, even though we get stuck in feeling miserable and allowing that to control ourselves. I did that. It's so easy to do. Environmental things like it's cloudy and chilly and rainy out today. And I could let that get me down. And I have let that get me down and said the weather affects me. Seasonal. There is such thing as seasonal depression. And some people do suffer from that. That's a real thing. I do feel better when it's sunny days, all that stuff. But that being said, I still have a choice on the rainy days of how I want to act, behave, speak, and how I want my life to be, how I want my day to go. Just because it's raining outside doesn't mean that I cannot have the best day ever. I cannot have an amazing day. And I have to choose not to let that affect me. And that's what it boils down to. You have to choose not to let things get to you inside because that's where it is. It's like pain. Your heart hurts. When you're sad, your heart hurts. When you're sad, and if you stay sad, if you actually really notice, you may have a lot of sad things going on around you. You may be surrounded by sad, or call it negativity, negative people who don't bring you up, people who complain all the time. That is a situation that is very easy to get stuck in. And it's something that can take a little work, but if you really want to live your life, to get out of. And that's what self-awareness is. Self-awareness is making a decision, is being the person that you want to be, acting like that person, speaking like that person, thinking like that person. So when negative thoughts come into my head, whoop, push them aside, replace it with something good, whether it's about the situation, about myself, about somebody else. Because how we think, our bodies react to that. Our bodies react. So you can genuinely tell when somebody is sad or upset. Their whole body exhibits that. It's a physical thing. You can tell they just look sad. They might not be taking care of themselves as much by the way they dress. Are they bathing regularly? Things like that. Self-care. These are all things that affect how we portray ourselves, how we go about our day. So even if you start off not feeling the best in the morning, once you get going, you can always change that. You always have the option to change that. You always have the choice to change that. You always have the choice to dictate how your life goes, because when you're sad and you're down and your body is exhibiting this, that's the vibration you're putting out to the world. So that's what's going to come back to you. More sadness, more negativity, people around you. Really take a look at your friends and family. And I'm not saying leave them, but take a look at them. Take a look at who you're surrounded by. What kind of environment are you in? So when you make the choice, when you are aware, so we're just going to compare the being aware to choosing, because that's basically what it is. When you are in awareness, you are choosing thought, action, and so forth. So when you choose to be happy, to take care of yourself physically, self-care, choose to think good things about yourself and others, it's uplifting. You will actually feel a physical difference. That awareness, that choice, replace the bad thoughts with the good thoughts, replace the negativity. That's why it's important to journal or write things down in the morning to get your day started in the right frame. That brings up your mood. Your mood brings up your vibration. Your vibration conducts the world around you. So I know some people might be thinking, woo. Well, you know what? Look it up. It's scientifically proven. Stimuli, reading something, writing something, listening to something that's uplifting, makes you happy, improves your mood. It releases endorphins in the brain, makes you feel better. The more you feel better, the better your life can be. You might notice, some new people are coming into your life. Other people that are like-minded, who are going through similar things as you, who are thinking the same way as you, whether it's, you find a Facebook group or you happen to meet some new people in something else that you're doing. You might join a club, all that kind of stuff. That's living in self-awareness. That's making a choice every single day. How do I want my day to go? How do I want my life to go? What am I going to do to love myself today? What self-love thing am I going to do today? Is it going to be journaling or writing something, in the morning, or at night before bed? For those women who work out of the house, might be wondering, when am I going to find time to do all this kind of stuff? The meditation. I work out of the house. I'm tired. I'm exhausted at the end of the day. Well, find that 15 minutes before bed. And as you're winding down, or it will help you wind down, put some earbuds in or listen to some music. If your partner is open, play some music out loud. We've been doing that for the last few weeks. I've been playing a sleep meditation, and I don't know when it stops and shuts off because I am asleep, and I have been sleeping better even than I was before with the sleep meditation. So if they're open to it, you can play that out loud and fall asleep to it. You can keep a pen and paper next to your bed and write anything that went well that day, anything that you're grateful for, that you want to take note of in that day. Even if it's just being grateful for the house that you live in, the bed that you're about to get into, the partner that's sitting or laying beside you. Those are all great things to be grateful for right before you go to bed. Or read something, even if it's affirmations, right? Quotes, positive quotes, motivational quotes, books on your phone, whatever, an app for a few minutes. The point is, when you fill your brain with something positive before you go to bed, is a higher chance of waking up in a better mood. And that's scientifically proven as well. So look it up, Google it if you want to. If listening to positive stimuli or engaging in positive stimuli before you go to bed helps you wake up in a better mood, what does that do to the brain? It sets the brain up for a better night's sleep as well, believe it or not. So these are all things to consider. This is living in awareness. This is making that choice. So what does all this have to do with the menopause? So when we're doing all these things and we're being aware, we're living in this self-awareness, we're making this choice by doing all this, keeping that energy going. This is what happened to me. All of a sudden I noticed, oh my gosh, I didn't get a hot flash last night, I don't think. And it wasn't as intense as I normally are. Wow, I'm actually starting to lose weight. Oh my God, I'm sleeping better again. I'm not waking up as often, except to pee. But so you'd be surprised. Again, I go back to how everything is connected. It's really is the circle we could talk about the circle of life from baby, adulthood to being elderly and then death. But to me, there's another circle of life, and that's the circle of everything being connected in life and how we speak, act, and think. Right? These are all connected things. They all have physiological responses on your brain, on your body, physically, and that all helps improve symptoms. That is how it helped me improve my symptoms. Going to bed happier, reducing the stress on my body, calming everything down, seeing myself the way I wanted to be again, visualizing myself in my bikini as I was going to bed or in a meditation, taking care of myself by moving it. And I know that's probably different for women who work outside of the house, but is there anything on your lunch break or anything like that? Or summer is coming if you're in North America and you could possibly go for a walk after dinner. Or if you have weights, I always say it just boils down to, if you really want to do it, you'll find a way. And that is a choice. It's a choice you make. It's a choice I make. It's a choice I make to improve my life, to keep my body healthy. It definitely improved my mental health, moving my body like that, just on getting outside in the fresh air, walking. But I got to tell you, the big thing was the weights, because I want my body, I want to feel strong. I want to be strong, and lifting weights, weight training, it is allowing me to produce my own hormones. It makes me happier. It releases endorphins, and it's all the circle. It's a choice I make. I choose it for the benefit of my well-being, for my health. I am aware that this will improve my life, my being as a whole, will improve my journey. So that's the awareness that I have, that I live in, and that I profess. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to end it there, and I hope you'll tune in again next time for the Menopause Mindshift Self-Love podcast. Again, I'm your host, Lisa R. Triggs, and thank you for coming to my conversation about self-awareness today.